Boom, we're recording. All right, let me make sure we're recording, everyone. Hold on. All right, so we're recording. Welcome back. Sales Talk with Contractors. I think it's episode number 3 or 4. I don't really know. I'm trying to do these things every week. But I got a guest. Like I said, we're going to start doing guests with these things. Last week was Eric Duso. We were talking home shows. Hopefully you guys like that one. This week, I have Joshua Beal on. What's up, man?
How's it going?
Pretty good, pretty good. So we're going to be talking about Google. We'll probably talk about some other stuff in the middle too. But I've talked to Joshua before, and this guy is. I mean, you said you're not like an expert at it, right? But you know, I don't
Yeah.
expect. Not really trying to have experts on, to be honest. I'm just trying to have like contractors on that are having success with it. And you are having a little bit of success with the Google stuff, right?
Yeah, I mean, we've only been in this area for a little, about a year and a half now.
Uh,
Came here fresh, and I mean, we paid basically conquer online in this area. So I'm all
right.
self-taught. Not really, an expert. But we do about. I mean, this will be we're going on year two, and we do a roof at least every single day. We do about 160 square week. We do tons of auxiliary repairs, and the vast majority of our sales are people call us off Google. So
Nice.
that's pretty awesome. I mean, we got
Right.
176 phone calls off of Google last month, and we got
Shit.
another 30 phone calls off of the website. So almost 200 phone calls a month. I think
Right.
that's not too bad, so definitely
Yeah.
keeps us pretty busy.
Yeah, that's good for sure, man. Did you say it's your second year in business or second year doing Google?
Well, no, we've been in the business for a while, but we just moved to this area here in Texas about 2 years ago. And we've been in business here for about a year and a half. So we had a business up in Ohio. But we
Oh,
didn't
okay.
do a whole lot of Google or anything like that up there. It's mostly word of mouth. So yeah, about a year and a half, 2 years of Google
Right.
experience. But I've dedicated myself, you know, tons and tons and tons and tons of hours, asking people questions and, stuff like that to just kind of learn how to do it myself. So
Right. Right.
it's been
So,
working out pretty well.
right. Did you buy, so when you said you're like self-taught, are you buying like all like the guru courses and all that shit? Or are you just kind of asking people how to do it and kind of figuring it out by trial and error?
Um, just asking people. I've hired some companies to do some stuff for me, and kind of I'll pay them maybe a little bit extra to kind of teach me a little bit here and there. I got some, Facebook friends, kind of like you.
Right.
You do more of the Facebook and direct mail stuff like that. People pick the brains, or just simple Google search. How to rank on Google. Or how to make your GMB stand out, or
Right.
how to get Google guaranteed, stuff like that. I mean, it's been definitely a long, hard road to learn what I have. And like I said, I'm by no means an expert, but I know that I got about 200 calls last month, and it's been that way for quite a
Yeah.
while. So
Yeah.
the
Uh,
results kind of show. I mean, I'm sure there's people doing better,
mhm.
but doing the
Yeah.
best I can.
Yeah. That's good for sure, man. 200 calls a month. Um, so when you moved, so you said you came from Ohio?
That's right.
So when you moved from Ohio to Texas, I mean, that was pretty much like a fresh start then, right? Kind of
Yeah,
almost
I
starting
mean,
from scratch.
basically what we did was shut down the company up there, our customer base up there. We have a family friend who's also in the roofing and construction business, and basically we just gave him our book of customers, and kind of all the future calls and stuff like that. And like if somebody ever needs any warranty work, I mean, we'll pay for it. We've had it happen a couple times, but other than that, yeah, we don't do any new sales up there. Basically, it's completely shut down up there. But down here, it's basically we shut down that company and then moved it down here. So did of
Nice.
course have to change the name because the name wasn't available here. But yeah, so we've been
Right.
in the industry for a while, for a minute, but since '04.
Nice. 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 So when you moved, is it pretty much, so I know you were talking about doing some direct mail stuff. Like what percentage of your, I guess, revenue comes from leads from Google and then what else are you doing?
We have some canvassers. We have 3 canvassers who go knock doors. They're pretty hit or miss, but we write some deals off of them. But basically Google.
Okay.
We basically just started doing the canvassers because we hired a couple more salespeople. So we wanted to kind of make sure that everybody stayed busy through the holiday season.
Mm.
But no, the vast majority of our business comes from Google. I mean, I would say 90% comes from people who've called us and said, "Hey, can you come out here and give me an estimate to do this or check this out or whatever?" So
Right. Nice. Yeah, that's why I was really interested in talking to you, man, because well, I do the Facebook stuff, but the Facebook stuff, I think it's kind of phasing out, to be honest. The ads are like real weird right now. So
oh,
yeah,
really?
I really want to get going with the Google stuff. So it's crazy that 90% of your business is coming from Google. And yeah, I think you're doing better than me right now, revenue wise. I'm obviously brand new, but so I'm not doing any Google right now. So that's why I'm really interested in learning it. I have
It was
no freaking.
wild up in Ohio. I mean, we basically relied on door knocking. I mean, that's exclusive. I mean, we had 12 door knockers out there in Ohio. We did almost, I mean, we had a website, but we weren't pumping any money. No Google ads, nothing like that. We
Right.
did it all on canvassers and direct sales. When we came down here, we kind of decided to flip the coin and let's give it a shot. And so, yeah, it's worked out. It was funny when we first got our first like 10 calls in a week. I mean, I was like on the moon, like, because we never got that before. Right. And now we're
Right.
getting, if I get 150 calls a month, I'm like, damn, what did I screw up?
Right.
Or what
Right.
might be better, so it's definitely really cool. The Facebook thing, I mean, I don't have a knack for it like you do.
Hmm.
I've hired a couple companies to do it for me and they've all sucked. So I've spent thousands and thousands of dollars on hiring supposed professionals and it just never works out. I've kind of given up on the Facebook thing. Your way of doing things with give them something, the form and stuff like that. That's pretty unique, but I just don't
Right.
have to do it myself, So the Google, I'm staying in business with Google. So for right now, that's kind of what we're doing and it's working pretty well.
Right. Yeah. All the stuff that pretty much everything I know is stuff that I learned from other contractors that are doing really good with it. So, like the whole Facebook thing I do, it's literally just my direct mail strategy, which I learned from other contractors. And I just did the exact same thing online because it's a lot cheaper, obviously. Right.
Right.
So I think I've bought a couple like guru courses. Um, I'm sure there's a couple guys that I used to post about them online because I've got like totally ripped off from buying courses and stuff before. Literally, the
Right.
only stuff I've learned that actually works is stuff I learned from other contractors that are actually doing it. So that's why I want this podcast to be more of people like you that are actually, actually run a company as opposed to some, fucking marketing nerd living in his mom's basement,
I
right?
agree with you. Every time I've ever tried to do anything with a supposed professional, it just cost me shitloads of money that I could have spent doing something else, and that I know is going to work, right? So I agree with you 110%. The best way to learn anything is to find a regular Joe, that's in the same sort of business you are and say, hey, how are you doing this? And hopefully they're, able to help you out a little bit, just tell you, so.
Right. Yeah, that's the cool thing with all the Facebook groups and all this kind of stuff nowadays is you can connect with people like outside of your area that aren't your competition really easy and you can learn shit from them. You know what I mean?
Right.
So that's pretty cool. So, you said that when you started this whole thing, you took a chance on Google, you got like your first like 10 calls or whatever, and you were super excited about that. Where did those first couple calls come from? Was it like organic stuff like GMB, Google My Business, or where did those come from at first?
So there's different tiers. There's not different tiers. There is when I say Google advertising, there's like 5 or 6 different things that have to come together to make it really, a solid portion of your business. And it costs a lot of money in ad spend. It costs a lot of time and maintenance and trying different things and stuff like that. Those first 10 calls, those were I believe those were just off of Google Ads. The business, the website was not at all ranking organically. It was like on page 26. Mostly Google Ads, stuff like that. It takes a while for your GMB, your website. It takes forever for your website to possibly rank. I'm not in an extremely competitive market. I mean, there's some big guys around, but I mean, I probably only have really 10 competitors, I know in
Right.
some places have, 50, so definitely location helps,
Right.
but
Right.
yeah, those initially you're 100% Google ads. Google guaranteed is where it's at. And anybody who's not Google guaranteed, you're doing yourself a huge disservice, and you're losing out on tens and tens of thousands of dollars of
Hmm.
revenue, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars in revenue. Um, you know, um, because you're not Google guaranteed. It's a kind of a bitch to get a Google guaranteed, but once you're there, you're there. Just don't screw it
Yeah.
up. So that's a
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, so I remember you talking about that last time we talked. That's something I definitely want to hit on because I didn't even know Google Guaranteed was a thing. So last time we talked, I know we talked about kind of like pretty much like three main areas when it came to Google, and it was the Google My Business, and then it was just the regular pay-per-click ads, and then it was the Google Guaranteed stuff. So let's start with the GMB stuff. Um, so the Google My Business is basically it's just like when people search you, you rank almost like SEO, right? Or talk about what it is, like what the purpose of the Google My Business setup thing is for idiots like
So
me.
your Google My Business is the most important. Without a solid Google My Business, you can piss away hundreds of thousands of dollars and you'll get nowhere. Your GMB is the most important. Okay, you can set it up one of two ways. If you have a physical location, so a lot of people use their house, then you
Right,
would put a physical location, which helps a lot if you're in a very populous area, because everybody within 10 miles or whatever, it depends on the area and population, stuff like that, how much competition you have in that area. But
right,
that's the best way to go. Basically, you're guaranteed to pop up, basically organically, for lack of a better term, on GMB if you have a physical location. I do not. I do have a physical location, but it's not where I'm doing most of my workout. It's about an hour south.
mm-hmm.
So my GMB is set up as a service area business, which is nice. I don't pop up 100% of the time anywhere, but I pop up 70, 80% of the time everywhere, right? So I have, 1 hour radius of basically Killeen, where I live. And, I pop up fairly often within that 1 hour radius, often enough to, get the 200 phone calls a day. So your GMB,
Right,
that's where you have to be. You need to fill it all the way out. Okay. You need to fill out all your about us, all your services, add pictures on a daily basis, or at least 2 or 3 times a week.
mm-hmm.
um, I have, I don't know, 600 photos on my GMB. I mean, just even stupid little shit. I mean, I have a picture of a roof that we were doing, and it's got a pool in the background, and it just was kind of a cool photo. It's got like, I don't know, 1,500 views on it within a few days, so it
Right,
doesn't
right,
matter. Just put it on there. Make sure all your information's 100% correct. Your hours of operation, all that stuff. But your GMB, you have to have a solid GMB before you do anything else. Before you have the website, before you do, you have to have a GMB to even have an ads account, as
mm-hmm.
far as I know. You have to have a GMB to have a Google guaranteed. So it all comes back to your GMB. So GMB is numero uno. That is your number one thing that you want to make sure is 110% filled out. And you use every single tool that GMB has to offer, because Google, they want to see, they want to see daily activity. They want to see all those photos. They want to see
Right,
you respond to your reviews. That's another thing. The more reviews you have, the better. I mean, I've only been here for a year and a half. I have 40 reviews. I mean, it's not a ton, but it's a good amount. I mean, it's got me to where I am now. When people type us in, they hire us because we got a perfect rating. So
mm-hmm.
that definitely helps. Your GMB is your backbone to your entire Google ecosystem, or your
Mm-hmm.
entire your entire life on Google. So GMB is very, very important.
Got it. So that's like the foundation that you build everything else on top of then.
Absolutely. So when you go through on your GMB, and if anybody listening, you don't know what I'm talking about, you need to figure it out. But you need to go through and make sure, mine says roofing contractor is my primary, and then painter, remodeler, contractor, fence contractor, siding contractor, general contractor, anything that anybody's going to put in. And then I have 16 service areas,
Mm-hmm.
you have your website, you have an appointment link, You have all your services tabs filled out. You have everything. I mean, it should look 110% filled out when you're done with it. And Google is going to like that a lot. And
Mhm.
people love that stuff. When they have things to click on, like these are my services, 600 photos, stuff like that. You just
Right.
need to make sure that's 100%.
That makes sense. So they almost like, yeah, because I know when I made mine, it was kind of like, they like, so first of all, you got to get a postcard in the mail. So they like verify you and they send a postcard in the mail. You type in the little code so they can verify you're a real business. And then when I was doing it, it's kind of like Facebook when you create a Facebook page, how they suggest things that you should do and they kind of guide you along. So you basically just set up all that stuff. And then it kind of sounds like they almost reward you for just kind of following all the steps and getting your stuff all set up right, right?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, they'll kind of guide you through the process, and I think you do have to have a physical location initially. And when you switch over from a physical location, if don't have a physical location, so like I use my office address, which is a shared space type deal. But anyways, that's where you got the postcard out, and then you want to wait like 30, 60 days, and then try to switch it over to a service area business. If that's your business model, you're not going to have a physical location. But anyways, because if you one thing about GMBs you got to be very careful about, and a lot of people don't understand this, but if you, let's say on your website you have your hours of operation, okay, and then on
Right.
your GMB you have your hours of operation. If
Right.
Google goes through and audits everything, which has happened to me, and you have something that's incorrect, it doesn't match, they will actually take you off Google. Okay, and when they take your GMB off Google, you're basically off Google. Okay,
Mhm.
and so that's happened to me a couple times, and like I said, it was a learning process, but you want to make sure your stuff's 100% the same across, your GMB, your Facebook, your website. Those are the main ones. Um, but yeah, you want to make sure everything's the same. Go through all their little suggestions on what they want you to do, and then go and click all these little tabs on the left-hand side and go through and fill all that out. I mean, you can never have too much information on there. So like if
Right.
you look at mine versus the companies that have been here for 20 years and are multi-million dollar companies, 10 million, $12 million companies, whatever, that have 8 different office locations, stuff like that. I mean, mine's better than theirs,
Mhm.
so that's probably one of the reasons why I get 200 calls, a month. I don't know how many they get. I know I'm catching up to them production wise. Right.
Right.
So, in less than 2 years, so
Right. Right.
take
I
the
want.
time to do it, you know.
Right. I get you. Are those 200 calls? Are those coming from all coming from GMB, or is that coming from just all your Google stuff in general?
All Google stuff in general. It's hard to, like I said, it's the GMB is like your backbone. I don't know if they'll tell me my numbers, but like it adds up, so like this is saying in 1 month off GMB, I only got 12 phone calls, which is not a lot, but I had 170 people that went from my GMB to um, my website, right? Or no,
Mhm.
270. I'm sorry. So they may not have called you right off of there, but they might have clicked to your website, went on your website, and then now you've got 60 phone calls that come from your website. Well, 270 of those were referrals from GMB. You see what I'm saying? And your GMB is going to directly reflect um, your ranking on Google organically as far as your website goes. So then your website, let's say you look at the analytics of your website and you got 40 phone calls off of that, and you got to think you only pay, what, $200 a month for your website to be maintained, and
Yeah, something like that.
right. So you get 40 phone calls from that, 12 from GMB, which is free for
Mhm.
$200. I mean, you're talking 60 something phone calls off of that. I mean, that's already a pretty good, right, return on investment for $200.
Right.
Um,
Right.
yeah, I mean, the bulk of your business is going to be off of paid advertising.
Mhm.
You're going to get it off of Google Ads. You're going to get it off of, you're going to get it off of Google Guaranteed. I mean, I think I got just like almost 50 phone calls just off of Google Guaranteed last month. Um,
Right.
like I said, it's a not one thing is going to change everything, right? You want everything has to be on point for you to get the higher call volumes.
Right, right. Yeah, that's interesting that most people go to the website as opposed to calling just from the GMB listing. So, what was that? Was that me or you?
Oh, that's me. I'm sorry,
Oh,
but
that's all right. Just making sure something didn't happen with the technology here. You never know. Yeah, so that means it's important to have your not having like a brochure style website, right? You want to have your website set up so when people go on it from GMB, you're going to have, your lead magnet or an offer or like an actual contact form or a live chat on there so you can get an appointment booked right then and there. You know what I mean?
right.
So most people
Yeah,
just have the brochure.
the contact me now page, I always thought that was like kind of a gimmick because like I've never filled one of those out ever in my entire life. And I
Mhm.
asked friends and family, and they said, "Oh yeah, no, we've never done that." But I actually get like 3 or 4 people a week now that do the contact me now page,
On
which
the
I think
website?
on the website, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's definitely want to make sure you have a contact me now. I don't have the chat box thing. I've
Mhm.
been talking to a company. I haven't done that yet. Honestly, out of all my Google stuff, my website's what's lacking the most. That's something I need to improve on. I mean, it's a good website. It's better than most of my competitions, but it could be better. It could have a chat box. It could have a little bit more better call to action, stuff like that. But that's one of my flaws is I just haven't spent enough time on the website because it's really not where I get. I mean, I get a significant call volume, but it's not. I don't know. I was too busy building up the GMB, the Google Ads, the Google, guarantee, the Facebook page, stuff like that. So,
Right, right. Yeah, my website's pretty shitty too. I think mine's built on Wix, like the free website thing. So we
oh,
paid for it, so it doesn't say Wix. Like you can't tell it's a free website by just looking at it.
right.
But yeah, it's super shitty. It looks like a 3-year-old made it. So
Well,
I need to get that set up also.
mine's okay. It's pretty good. Like I said, if I compare it to my competition, it's definitely in the top 25 percentile or whatever. I mean, it's good. But it's just not. It's not where I want it to be. But this is all a work in progress. I mean, you got to think. How it is. You're running a business, dealing
Mhm.
with customers, dealing with sales guys, dealing with production guys, paying the gas bill, whatever else. Then you got your family stuff. So there's only so many hours in a day. It's one of the things I'm working on.
Right, right. Yeah, another thing I want to add when it comes to the website, just for, I'm sure you know this, but for, I guess, everyone else listening, I don't know who listens to this. Well, we got 12 subscribers, so it's like 12 people. But out of those 12 people, I don't know if it's people that are running like a big business or small business or people just starting out. But big thing with the website also, when you're going to be running traffic to like a contact form or something on your website, huge mistake I see people make is they ask like a shitload of questions. They're trying to like over qualify the lead before, like right there on the first page, right? So the last, like the address, the last what your budget is when you're looking to do the job, all that stuff. I think all that's a huge mistake. I think you just want to know, make sure they're in your service area, ask them what they want to, what they're interested in, what project, and get the contact info, and that's it. Everything else should be qualified over the phone. So if you're setting up
I
your
agree.
website, stuff like that, make sure you're not asking like 20 different questions because they're just going to bounce. A lot of people are going to bounce. You're going to get some people to fill it out. Those are probably super good leads, but most people are just going to bounce, and you could just get their contact info and call them and ask that anyways. So it's
I
kind of
agree
stupid
with
to
you.
ask all that stuff.
I agree with you 110%. I just asked for their name and phone number.
Yeah, it sounds good to ask all that, right? But you got to put yourself in people's shoes. Like if you're going on this website and you just have like a slight interest, because we sell a lot of people, right? If you're a sales company, you have sales reps and stuff. You know that most people that you sell to are people that weren't like really ready to buy right now, right? You got out to the
Right.
house and you kind of pushed them over the fence, right? So you don't want to be asking all those questions up front because most of your sales are going to be from people that aren't actually even planning on buying right now, but they will if you can get a sales rep in front of them. You know what I mean?
And that's an important point. If you don't mind, I'd like to touch on that. These people who are calling, these 200 people, there's maybe 10 of them that say, hey, I want to spend $12,000 on a re-roof.
Right.
The vast majority of people are saying, hey, it rained yesterday and I had a little bit of water come in my bedroom. I just need a small repair done. Great. Great. We'll send an inspector out. We'll take a look at it for you. It's free inspection. Great. it's up to the sales staff or whoever's running your leads, to close that person on doing the entire roof. So I mean, we do get some calls saying, hey, let's do it, but for the most part, it all comes down to sales. This is a lead. This is not a sale. It's a lead. You can only do so much with it. You gotta turn it into something else, right? So.
Right, right. Yeah, my motto has always been the only goal of advertising is to get a salesperson in front of a qualified prospect. That's it.
Exactly.
Yeah. So cool, man. As far as the GMB stuff goes, is there like a ramping up period as far as, well, I think you said there was already. So like how long does it take if you're doing like everything right, you're updating your stuff every day from like the moment you set your thing up to when you start like actually getting phone calls in? I know it probably depends on like what area you're in, but just kind of like a ballpark.
It depends on your budget. We kind of went balls to the wall here. I think our budget is like, in our area, it depends, greatly, but, so when you get on Google Ads, it's going to have a sliding scale when you go to set your budget. I always set it, they'll have like a little balloon area. Like this is where your competitors are spending money. I always set mine just a tad bit higher. Not that it's going to spend up to that, because like my budget's like $2,000 a day, right, is what I have it set at. I can't afford that, but it charged me $75.73 today,
Oh,
so
okay. So I'm talking about so just the GMB. How long does, just like when you set up your Google My Business account, how long does that take until you start like seeing results from just that part? Or do you recommend like just doing everything all at once, like that, the paid ads, everything?
I can't speak to that because that's not the way I did things. You want to do all of it. So you want to set up your GMB, you want to set up your website, you want to set up your Google Ads account, you want to set up your Google Guaranteed, you want to set up Facebook, you want to set up all that stuff all within the same 30 days. And then you're just going to put budget towards Google Guaranteed numero uno. Then you're going to put the rest of your marketing budget all into Google Ads. So your GMB is not, unless you have a physical office location. Let's say, bam, I'm right in the center of 20,000 people. Those 20,000 people, they'll see you day 2 or 3 that you're up on Google on GMB. They're going to see you almost immediately. But that's only, that many people, whatever's within 10, to your closest competitor. So if your competitor's 5 miles away, it's going to be you and your competitor, right? If your competitor, has been there longer than you have and has 80 reviews and you have 2, he's going to show first, right? So it's kind of like an all or nothing type deal when you're starting out, which I'm sure a lot of these people that would be listening to this, they might be just starting out, or not just starting their company, but like starting the online advertising portion, in this type of way. You kind of want to do it all at the same time. So I can't speak to, like, if you just did GMB on its own, in my opinion, it's not, it won't hurt nothing, but yeah, it's not going to help you. You want to do everything, all at one time, and then slowly feed everything so it all grows together.
Gotcha. All right. So you have your Google My Business set up. That's kind of like your foundation before everything, because Google likes that. And so let's talk about the Google Guaranteed and the Google Pay Per Click. So what's the difference between those two? Because they both cost money, right?
Absolutely. So there's a huge difference between them. Google Ads, anybody with a GMB in a business can have a Google Ads account. Okay. The Google Guaranteed is the Google Guaranteed. Like if you said, hey, Josh, I want to be in business for myself, what's the first thing to do? It'd be get a GMB, get a Wix website for free, and then get Google Guaranteed. Because just off the Google Guaranteed, like as soon as it's like a 3-week process. When I did it, I've heard it could be much longer. But as almost immediately you're getting calls. Within the same day that you're approved. So they have to, I believe that there's a soft pull on your credit. They have to see, like, you have to be in business for so long, or at least experience in the industry. You have to send them pictures of stuff. You have to your driver's license, social security card. It's a process. But Google Guaranteed is what they're doing is people who call off of Google Guaranteed, right? And they hire you to do the job. They actually warranty your work up to $2,500. So if you go, you screw up the job, they call Google, they say, hey, look, this company that I hired off of Google Guaranteed screwed up the job. They will actually reimburse them up to $2,500. So Google is putting their neck on the line for you.
Mhm.
That's why it's an extensive background, kind of a background check type deal. I mean, I think there was something about felony, like you can't have a bad background, but
Oh man, that disqualifies like 10 of the people, 10 of our 11, 10 of our 12 subscribers.
uh-oh. Um,
So
I
that's
don't
a,
know. They'd have to look into the process. I don't remember exactly. I remember it was much more extensive than I thought it was going to be.
so they vet you, right? They want you to send in a whole bunch of shit and they want to verify that you're a legit company then.
Right. Yeah. They're going to have vet you, not Home Advisor vet you or Porch vet you or anything like that. They're going to actually vet you. Okay. So,
Mm.
but anyways, that's the best bang for your buck. Like sit down, take a few hours, fill all the information out, send all the information out, and wait until it comes back. That's your best bang for your buck right there. If
Mm.
you're going to invest some time into something, you will guaranteed. But once you get that set up, I mean, it's simple. You just go through, you put your roof, let's say you're in roofing, you do your roofing. I think you only can do one trade. So like I'm Google guaranteed for roofing. And then I think
Mhm.
once you're with them for a while, they will actually, and this is important, they will actually assign you like a Google rep. Okay. And this Google
Mhm.
rep will call you like every, I don't know, a couple weeks or 30 days, something like that. I forget how often,
Uh-huh.
and check in on you and they'll help you, stuff like that. Once you build a relationship up with them, then you can reach out to them and say, hey, look, I also offer these other services. Is there any way I can get you guaranteed in these other services? So for me, I'm now roofing, painting, I think flooring, but I
Mhm.
couldn't fencing because there's already somebody. I think they only allow 3 people within, I don't know, 60 miles or something like that to be Google guaranteed in a certain trade.
Hmm.
So there's already other people that already had that. So you definitely want to get on it as soon as possible. It might be 3, might be 6. I don't remember. I'm sure it depends on the area. In my area, I don't live in Los Angeles. I live in Killeen, Texas. So.
Right, right.
I mean, it's a well-populated area, but it's not New York, right? So I'm sure with bigger areas they allow more, but you definitely want to get on that. It's funny, I was the first one in the area to be Google guaranteed. Shitloads of phone calls. And then now there's 2 other of my biggest competitors. They're now Google guaranteed. Shortly after I did mine, because I'm sure they, do market research or research their competition. And
Right, right.
Google guaranteed is going to pop you up number one like 90% of the time. So when they type in roofer near me or roofer or roofing repairs or whatever, bam, you're at the very top with a green star next to you saying Google guaranteed at the very tippy top. That's before the ad section, before the GMB section, before the organic listings. You're at the very top. And people, I mean, if you're not on the first page, you might as well be on the last page. So very
Right.
important to be Google guaranteed.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. That's a good, I mean, that's something that you should have in your sales presentation also, right? It's kind of like, Google, right? Like literally one of the biggest companies in the world, big public company, right? Has to have a good reputation, right? They guarantee our work.
Right.
So, that's cool. And yeah, I think that if I'm not mistaken, the Google guaranteed stuff. So like if you search like a roofer or like a window guy or something, I think the way Google goes is it's Google guaranteed is at the very, very top. And then it's like the Google Maps stuff and then like all the home advisor shit. And then websites like on the second page now. Right.
Right.
So that puts you like right up there at the top. Um, how do you actually, so on your Google My Business account, is there like an option that will say like, hey, get Google guaranteed, or how do you actually go about like getting that going?
It's actually extremely complicated. I don't know why it's so complicated, but um, I never heard of it before. Actually, I think my dad, which is the other owner of the company, he brought it up. Like I
Mm.
saw something when we were talking about doing the Google stuff. I saw a blog or something mentioned Google Guaranteed. Let's look into that. I never heard of it before.
Hmm.
Anyway, and he just knew the name. Anyways, so started looking into it. It's actually called Local Services. Um, anyways, you got to find the page. It's not easy to find. At least when I did it, it was not. Like you had to go through different pages, like click on links and blogs. Like it was kind of a pain in the ass. And finally found where you can apply through it. and then you did it that way. So you kind of got to do a little searching for it. I don't have a URL or anything for you guys. You just got to do some searching for it and find it yourself. But it's not called Google Guaranteed. It's called Local Services. For some reason on the website, your dashboard, it says Google Guaranteed, but it's actually called Local Services.
That's interesting.
Yeah, if you type local services in, you might be able to find it a little bit easier than I stumbled around for hours and hours looking for it.
Right. So you got to find it, and then they only accept a certain amount of people. Maybe we shouldn't be talking about this, dude. Maybe we should cut this part out. Maybe I gotta wait. I gotta wait till I get mine all set up before I release the podcast or something, and make sure no one in my area is listening.
You definitely have to get that set up. I'm telling you. I mean, it will change your business. I'll look at mine and see what it. Guaranteed. I'm telling you, that's the way to go. Google Guaranteed is because that kind of gives you like a springboard, right? That's going to jump you ahead, so you don't have to go through the grind, right? The struggle of ranking because you've already ranked, right? Your name's right there, bam.
Right.
That's like a huge shortcut. All these guys that have spent years and years and hundreds of thousands of dollars trying to rank organically, forget about it. You just Google Guaranteed is kind of a really quick shortcut,
Right. That's interesting. So when it comes to the Google Guaranteed stuff, so are you like creating an ad like you are on pay-per-click, or how does that work?
It auto creates the ad, and yes, you do pay for it, and you do pay lots of money for it.
Okay.
So
Google creates the ad for you then.
That's right. Yeah. So I got 7 phone calls today just off Google Guaranteed.
Nice.
So I got 68 phone calls in the last 30 days. It cost $2,100 basically. So
nice.
Average cost per lead is $30 a phone call. That you put that up against Google, AdWords, it's like I think it's like $1.60 or something like that, a phone call. So, I mean, it's quite a bit more expensive, but it's premium. You're gonna write that customer. It's pretty good. I like them a lot for sure.
Right. Well, $30 a lead isn't that expensive. I mean, so for a roofing lead, for a roof replacement lead, if you go through Home Advisor, that's like they're going to charge you like $70, right? And they're probably not going to answer the phone, and they're going to give it to like 10 other guys.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep.
$30 isn't a big deal when you're making, I don't know how much roofs cost over there, but if you're making, $5,000 or more on a roof, right? $30 ain't a big deal.
No. Yeah. No.
Okay. So it's a price per lead that they charge then. It's kind of like almost like a lead service.
Right. Yeah. It's just per phone call. They only charge per phone call. Unlike Google ads, they charge per impression. So basically an impression, from what I understand, is if somebody basically saw your ad for even if they didn't look at it, if it popped up on their device, you get charged, 10 cents or whatever,
Right.
Google Guarantee just charges you per phone call.
Right. And is that something that you like set your budget with? Is that something that your Google rep kind of goes over with you?
Yeah. I just set it really high and just monitor it, so, I mean, if it starts getting to something you can't afford, my marketing budget, we do 2.5, I think this year, I think we'll probably end, if everything goes well, around 3 million. My marketing budget's about $10,000 a month, so that's kind of where I want to be. I think I spent like 8,000 last month, and we mostly exclusively do Google, so
right.
Vast majority of that is Google, so, I think I spent $8,000 last month on Google, so, but yeah, you just monitor it, see, like I get on here at least 3 or 4 times a week and just check, because I have had it happen where, you had a huge influx of calls, like it doesn't rain a lot here. So if we get a lot of rain, I mean, we love the call volume, but also I can't afford to spend $2,000 a day. Right. And so I might knock it down a tad bit. But daily life, I just jack it up, pretty high. I think my ad spend budget right now is, I don't know, $5,000 a week or something like that. So
right.
yeah, it's $5,000 a week.
Nice. It's a good sized budget.
Well, that's just what I have it set as because I don't want to get outbid, right? So if there's
Right.
another company that, let's say my budget's set at $2,000, right? Their budget set at $3,000, right? Google, their business, they want to make as much money as they can. They're going to send that lead, that phone call, or they're going to show that person. In my mind, I don't know if this is true or not, but they're going to want to send it to whoever has the most money, right? So in my mind, I just jack it up to $5,000 a week. I'm way above everybody else. And that way, to me, I can get every phone call I can possibly get, you know.
Right, right. So you basically just want to set your budget real high so it looks good to Google, but then you want to kind of monitor it so it doesn't get crazy, is what you're saying.
Yeah, because it's a sliding scale. I mean, I can click on it right now and I can take it from $5,000 a week to $0, and it's effective immediately, right? So if you get on here and like I think I spent, I don't even know, it's on a different screen. I think it was like, let's see, I spent like, I don't know. I think it was like $500 this week or something like that,
Mm-hmm.
$600, something like that. So, $408 spent. So $408 spent this week. So if I got on here and it said $2,408 spent, I'd be like, all right, let's back that down a little bit. You know, it's Thursday. You know, like let's back it down. You know, I can't spend
Right.
$6,000 this week just on Google Guaranteed. You know, so
Right, right.
it's effective instantly. So as long as you are responsible enough to check it on a regular basis, you're not going to get screwed.
Right, right. Yeah, I got to get that set up for sure, man. And that's it's cool that Google, I mean, obviously, I could create a pretty good ad, but most people can't, right? So it's cool that Google puts up their own ad and everything and kind of, you know, guarantees it, I guess, right? Google guaranteed. So they're not I mean,
It's not.
is it possible to kind of like to flop on it, or you pretty much just get leads every time that you set
No,
it up?
it's impossible to flop. It's
Okay.
guaranteed. That's what I'm saying. Like if you're going to do anything, you got to be Google guaranteed. So I mean, if let's say you're a window company, but you can't get Google guaranteed in Windows, get Google guaranteed in painting, and now you're a painting company that does Windows as well. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right, right.
you got to be Google guaranteed. I mean, it's literally life changing. So
Yeah.
very important. And it's not an ad. Like it doesn't show ad. Like if you look it up, on Google, roofer near you or whatever, you'll see at the top. It's like a little placard almost at the very tippy top. So it just is
Right.
like you're number one, right? So
Right. Yeah, I like that. I totally agree with you as far as so for like even a new business, right? So GMB, it's obviously free to set up, and then Google guaranteed, it costs money, right? But you're not going to flop on it. So you could put that on a credit card, you're going to make money as long as everything's good on the back end with like your sales process and all that, right? So
right,
someone that doesn't have a huge budget or you're just starting out, put that shit on a credit card.
absolutely.
Yeah. That's awesome. I got to look into that for sure, man. I'm slacking.
Yeah, you got to. I'm telling you, it changed your life.
Yeah. I have stuff like this, like I can't tell you how many times like update my Google stuff has moved from like my Monday to-do list, and then it goes on the Tuesday, and it just goes on the next list the next day all throughout the week, and I never do it. So
Right.
I need to make time, or I need to hire someone. Are you doing this stuff yourself, updating everything, or do you have someone in the office doing it, or like someone on staff?
I do it myself. Once you get used to like what it looks like Google Guaranteed is basically hands off. You set a budget and that's
Right.
it. Google Ads is a little bit more hands on.
Mm-hmm.
Your website's a little bit more hands on. Your GMB is very time consuming.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't trust anybody else. I mean, you got to think. I mean, if I'm getting 200 calls per month, I do not want to risk that, right? So if I got to hire somebody to go manage job sites, right, or go do whatever, then I do that, right? So somebody else,
Right.
my time's more valuable spent on getting 200 phone calls per month than it is, delivering materials to one of my 6 job sites for the day, right? So
Yeah, for
so
sure.
it needs to be your top priority, your Google, because that's where everybody finds everybody. I mean, word of mouth. I mean, especially COVID, nobody's talking to nobody anyways, Word of mouth
Right.
is important, but everybody looks at everything on Google, and it's just going to get more so because, like, the younger generations, that are in their 20s, in their early 30s, late 30s, whatever. I mean, a lot of these folks, I mean, everything's done online, right? So you just have to be there. That's where your customers are.
Yeah. That's if they don't destroy the world.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Um, did you say that you're getting leads for like $1 or something on Google, or is that impressions? I know you mentioned that earlier for a pay per click.
So yeah, it's pay per click. So like, let's say, so I'm looking at my Google Ads dashboard right now as we're talking. I got 335,107 impressions from September 15th to October 14th. Okay, this is just one Google Ads account. Okay, I have 6 of them. Okay, this is just one of them. Out of that one, this is my main one though, so it's pretty good, talk about. I had 1,144 clicks to the website, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then I spent $3,800 to get those results. So that's just one out of 6 Google Ads accounts that I have. This is definitely the biggest spend. This is my main account. It has 6 ads on this particular one.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, impressions, they charge you per impression, right? Because Google Ads is not really, like, there's some of them that like do have a click to call.
Mm-hmm.
I think some of them do, but they have to hit the call button. Most people are going to hit on the website or on the ad itself. That's going to send them to the website, right? So you get paid. I think you get charged like 16 cents. I know it varies widely depending on location.
Mm-hmm.
But you get charged per impression. So I got charged for those 335,170 impressions. An impression, from what I understand, and it's kind of hard to get a clear answer on because Facebook defines them differently than Google and all these other Instagram, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, it's basically if your ad popped up on somebody's screen for more than a second or something like that, you get charged like 16 cents or 10 cents or whatever it is for that day. And it also changes daily depending on demand for the industry, competition in the area, how much money they're spending, stuff like that. So you get charged for that, right? Then you get charged, I think it's like $1.60 right now for me in my area, or it might be $2, something like that. It's a pretty low dollar amount per click to your website,
Mm-hmm.
and then you get charged quite a bit more for a phone call, so today,
Right.
Today I got one phone call off of this particular Google Ads account. Like I said, I have 6 of them. It lasted 4 minutes and 55 seconds. So I'm assuming that my office guy, answered that phone call, and it's a lead now. One of my sales guys in the next few days will probably go out and hopefully sell that customer. So
Right. Yeah, it's a perfect time for an appointment call. 3 to 4 minutes.
Right.
Forgot what I was just gonna ask you.
But Google Ads is expensive. It ain't cheap. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
not in Los Angeles. It's
Right.
not inexpensive. So
Yeah, probably a little bit more expensive where I'm at over here in San Diego.
it's much more expensive. So
Yeah. What kind of offers are? No, I know what I was going to ask you. Why do you have 6?
well, so you can only do like, I think it's 6. So like you have ad sets, right? And each set. So I like the smart ads, the smart campaigns. It's basically Google assist you in the search terms and stuff like that. It's pretty nice. And that's what I do for the most part. So I have 2 of those rolling because you can only have 6 ads, right? On each one. So like, let's say I want to do a storm damage one, then I want to do a roofing repair one. And you got to think these are going to come up, per whatever the search term is, right? So if somebody goes into Google and says, hey, I need a exterior painting, if they type in exterior painting, but you have an ad that says interior painting, and there's another guy that says exterior, he's going to pop up first. So you want to make sure that you cover all your bases, right? You want to have your exterior painting, your interior painting. You want to have your roof repairs and your roofing. You want to have your storm damage, right? You want to have whatever you do. You want to have multiple ads. That way you're covering as many bases as you possibly can. The other 4 accounts I have, they're all custom made. I hired a company to make them for me because they're very labor intensive. It's not a smart ads account. anyways, you would know the guy. I forget his name off the top of my head, but they created them for me. I get almost zero results off of them.
Mm-hmm.
Comparatively to my smart campaigns, they way outperformed them, which they were flabbergasted on why that is. They said smart campaigns are garbage. Well, that's funny because I got, shitloads of calls off of them in the last 30 days, right? So, anyways, that's why I have those other ones. But those other ones, they only cost me like $300-$400 a month to run. I do get, a few calls a month off of them, so I mean, like I said, it's pay per click or pay per call, so
Mm-hmm.
my they don't cost me a lot of money. If I spend $500 on them and I get 5, 6, 7 phone calls, it's money well spent, so I monitor that. If they get shitty, I'll turn them off, turn them on back in, another 60 days or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I have so many different accounts. You just want to make sure all your bases are covered.
Got it. So pretty much all the stuff you're running is to get phone calls then, right? You're not necessarily trying to drive people to the website, right?
I prefer phone calls. That's my goal. I mean, if they go to the website, that's great. I mean, I get quite a few phone calls off the website as well. Like I
Right.
said, I need to improve that. But yeah, I mean, I mostly just want to see the name. We have 10 trucks on the road. They all just say just the company name, Texas Home Pro, and the
Mm-hmm.
phone number. They don't say what we do. They don't say any of that stuff. Um,
Right, right.
that's our branding, just the name. We get people all the time who will, see a truck, or see whatever, and then they'll type us in, like, what does that company even do? It's the third time I've seen this truck in the last 30 days or whatever. What do they do? And they'll look us up online and, maybe one day, what is it? It's like 6 or 7 times somebody has to see your name before they do business with you or something like that.
Something
Uh,
like that.
yeah. So that's kind of the thing. But yeah, phone calls are definitely preferred.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, we used to have when I was with my dad's company, we had a wrap truck. We had a truck with a wrap on it with all the company stuff. And the only stuff that we would get from it would be either people complaining about how we're driving or it would be people wanting a job. And we hated that because we wouldn't get, we were trying to get leads off of it. But now working for myself, I realized, man, that's like having people call for a job is almost as valuable as job leads. I need
Absolutely.
people to work right now.
That's my biggest problem right now, honestly. I have
Same
more
here.
leads than I can possibly handle. I'm booked out on painting jobs 45 days. Booked out on fencing for almost a month. I'm booked out on roofs for over about 5 weeks. So I just have flooring jobs about 2 weeks out. So we have so much going on. But geez, I've tried to hire. I think I had 6 interviews last week. I only had one guy show up.
Yeah,
I'm
it's crazy.
I have people texting me 5 minutes away. I'll sit there for half an hour. I'm like, the hell? Like you said, you're 5 minutes away. Where are you? I mean,
Right, right.
if they're late, I walk. But I'm pretty desperate right now.
Yeah.
I need
Same
the guy.
same here, man. I've posted ads for like I'm embarrassed to even tell you like how high of an hourly wage I've put on ads for just general labor and like no one responds. Like these ads, dude, when I was actually like doing the work when I was like just out of high school, dude, I would fucking kill to get paid as much as I'm offering. And no one wants to work. It's crazy.
That's the same thing with me. I mean, my ads right now, I'm looking for it's construction worker from $45 to $70,000 a year based on experience. We provide
Right.
a company vehicle. We provide a company cell phone. All gas is paid for. All that stuff. It's a good job. I mean, the cost of living here is not that high.
Right.
To me, when I was 18, 19, 20 years old, I would have ate that up. You know.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
so I mean, it just crazy.
Yeah, I hear you, man. Everyone wants to be YouTubers.
Yeah.
All the kids want to be like YouTubers and shit.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I say kids like I'm older. I'm 27, but I guess I'm still a kid. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's hard right now for sure, man. I'm in the position where so I don't know if you know when I started. I just started on my own in April. I've been in the business pretty much my entire life, but I just started my own company in April where I'm 100% for myself. And so, yeah, that's our biggest issue right now. Also, trying to find workers, and then I'm trying to find a project manager, which is extremely hard. Also, so I'm like running around like all day, delivering material and shit, checking on jobs, and I have like zero time right now to spend on marketing and getting this Google stuff going. So that's kind of my biggest issue. I got to hire a PM right now.
Oh no, I feel you. Yeah, I hired. I call him a gopher. He's 18 years old. He just does all the running around. I mean, I have 4 salespeople, 3 canvassers, and then I have 2 project managers. My project manager is a little bit different than what other people do. So my sales process is if I have a sales guy who only does the sale, he does nothing else. He does only sells, and he
Same
doesn't.
here. Yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't even write the estimate. I have somebody else who writes the estimate, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then they'll write the estimate, and then the sales guy goes and sells them. They do inspection, and they try to sell them on it, of course. But then the project managers, they basically just handle customer service. Making sure that they're paying their bills to us. They basically handle the money. They handle like if a customer gets aggravated about whatever or whatever they handle. They're more of a customer service representative than a project manager, but that's just what we call them here. But that's been awesome to have because sales guys just sell. Because I've found you give sales guys that also are project managers, they'll be like, oh well, I only sold 4 this week because I was busy following up on my deals, right?
Right.
Or whatever it was. If you take all those excuses away and give them to somebody else, it just works out better for everybody. I mean, I think our revenue I think it went up by like 30-something% when we from the traditional sales guy / project manager to 2 separate individuals. So that was efficiency.
Yeah.
We like that a lot.
Yeah, I think that's the best model for sure. So, I mean, I've worked as a sales rep for some of the biggest companies in the US, and they weren't roofing companies, they were just general home improvement companies, but every single one of them was set up like that. So,
Right.
the lead gen guys, right? They hand it off to the confirmation department, lead gets confirmed, goes to the sales guys. Sales guys only job is to sell, right? Gets closed and it gets handed off to production manager, and then they handle it from there. So, yeah, you don't really you want your sales guys to sell. You don't want them to get in 2 different mindsets. Like when I'm in a mindset of managing jobs, I'm not good when I go out. Well, I'm still good. I'm always good, but not to toot my own horn, but when I'm managing projects for like half the day and then I go out to run leads, I don't feel as good as I normally do, right? But when I wake up and all I'm doing today is selling, then I'm more fired up. You know what I mean? It's a 2 completely different mindsets, I think. So
I agree with you 110%. Anybody who's running it the way that I've seen it almost exclusively. There's only a couple of, like I said, like you were saying, huge construction companies, home improvement companies that ran it the way that me and you were talking about. But most everybody else I saw, they were running it. Sales guy does everything, and like you said, it's just a different mindset. It doesn't make sense to do it the other way. It's much better to have separate individuals. It's a little bit more expensive, but much more productive.
yeah, I think so. All right, man. How long we been doing this? It's been 45 minutes. I'm not keeping track of time.
Been about that, yeah.
It's been about that.
Yeah.
All right. I think I pretty much went over everything, man. How's that? When are you going to do that direct mail?
I've got some emails I got to look at with some updated pricing. I told them they need to sharpen their pencil, so I don't think I am going to take your advice. I don't think I'm going to do the 75K. I think I'm going to stick with I think I'm going to do like 10, 15, maybe even 20K to start and see what happens. But my market's weird. I have Killeen, which is a huge military town. So you have people from all over the entire world, all over the entire country. That's a tough market. I've hired marketing companies to market, online and Facebook and stuff here. And they're like, dude, sorry, we just don't know how to market to these folks, but then I have a little bit more traditional, a little bit higher end areas just south of me, 30 minutes, Round Rock, Georgetown, Belton, so I think I'm going to hit those areas really hard with some direct mail because they're a little bit more traditional. We've lived here our whole lives, stuff like that. hit those areas really hard with some good money, 10, 20 grand, something like that. Do a nice little test. I think I'll at least recoup my money. Um,
Yeah.
so,
Yeah. Like I said, I mean, as long as the offer is decent, you're pretty much always going to get response. I mean, and if your sales is good, which you're set up to sell, you're always going to recoup that money and make some money probably. Um, but yeah, I always like to kind of test stuff out and get something that's just kind of like optimized and working before I go real big. I've never went as big as you're thinking about going 200,000 houses. Um, but I always started out like when I first started doing direct mail, I was doing like 2,500 houses at a time only. And so even
all
with
right.
that, yeah, even with that, you'll see response. Um, the biggest thing though that I do with
Yeah.
direct mail that a lot of people do not do, and I don't know if you do this or not, I might be telling you something you already know, but I always put two offers, which kind of goes against traditional advertising advice, but I always put two offers. So there's always going to be people that are ready to do the work right now, and then there's always going to be people that are kind of on the fence, or they might do it at some point in the near future, right? So when you just put a regular offer on an ad for like you know win a free rifle when you sign with us, that only appeals to that small portion of people that are ready to do it right now. So what happens is, right, those people get response. That's that 1% response rate. But there's a lot of people that see that ad that are like, oh, look at this company. It's they do roofs, they do this. We're gonna have to remember them in a month when we're gonna replace our roof or when we're gonna paint our house, right? And then what happens during that time? They just they throw it away, they forget about it, and they end up calling someone off Google, right?
Right.
So what I always do is I always put my main offer, which is like my whole postcard or whatever I'm sending is my offer that's directed at just the people that are ready to do it now, right? So you get that 1%, but then I'll also have like a little section like in the corner or like on the back or something like that that will say basically something like, not ready to do the project yet. Text, 5556 to follow our next local remodeling project in your area. Something like that, right?
Say
So,
that last part again. You cut out a little bit.
oh, did I cut out? Let me make
Yeah.
sure my mic is still good. Um, yeah, we're still good. So I'll put like my main offer. So my offer that's just targeted towards the people that are ready to do work right now. Just a basic postcard, right? That like everyone's sending, the one that gets the 1% response. So I'll send that out, but I'll also like in the corner of the postcard or something or on the back. I'm also going to put an offer that's going to allow me to capture a bunch of people's contact info that are going to be people that are the maybes or people that are going to do the business in the future but not right now, people that wouldn't have otherwise responded to the postcard, right? So I'm going to put something like not ready to do your windows right now or not ready to do your kitchen remodel right now. Text 5556 to follow our video vlog of our next kitchen remodel going on in your neighborhood, right? So now it's like, yeah, we're not ready to do our kitchen right now, but I'm nosy and I want to see what's going on with this other person's kitchen in my neighborhood. So I'm going to text this number, and then you could send them like video links or whatever so they can follow the job, and then an offer at the end. So you could do something like that, or you could also do just send them a piece of information, right? Like a roof inspection guide, something like that. So you're capturing all those people that wouldn't have otherwise responded. And now you could put them on an email list or something, and you could work that list for free instead of sending out another mailer for 20K to get in front of them again. Get what I'm saying?
No, I like that. I love that actually. How do you manage that video vlog thing or whatever? I mean, is there an app or something like that that you have everybody's contact information, or is it just like group text on your iPhone, or like how does that work?
Yeah, forget what ours is called. I think it's called Lion Desk. I think it's called Lion Desk that we use. One of my friends turned me on to it. It works pretty good. It's real basic, which I like because I'm like an idiot when it comes to technology. But it lets you put together text drip campaigns, and so you could do something like that. So if you are doing a job, even like if you're doing a small mailing where you're just going to hit like one subdivision, you could send out a mailing, and then it'll be your main offer. You'll get your, normal like 1%, 2% response rate. But then you also put that offer on there like, hey, not ready to do your kitchen right now or not ready to do your windows right now. You know, follow our video vlog. I think it's just called a vlog, right? Follow our vlog of your neighbor's house that we're going to be doing, or something like that, right? And then I just do I put them on that text strip, right? And they get a video like every day, or however many times I want to do it, or we're at the job. And you just make it basically like HGTV style, right? Like, you walk them through it. You're on the job. Hey, what's up? This is Charlie. He's our plumber. Say what's up, Charlie. How's it going? Oh yeah, I'm doing this. I'm gonna solder these pipes together. Just kind of get them excited about what's going on. Everyone looks professional. Everyone's in company shirts. And then you do like a big reveal at the end, kind of like HGTV, right? Because all the housewives and stuff love that. And then after that, then you're going to text them an offer, right? Just got this done. If you like the way we work and everything, we're offering this special offer while we're still in the area. It's good up until we leave for the next 48 hours. If you want an estimate, just text us back, or text the word estimate back to this number.
Okay.
Something like that, right? And then, so now, go ahead.
That's kick ass.
Yeah. So now what you did, so basically, you sent out your initial mailing, right? You got your 1% response rate. You go out, you sell those leads. Cool. Now you also got a bunch of people that are watching the video blog thing, right? So now you got, maybe that 1% response rate goes up to a 5% response rate because all those people that are responding to get the video, right? And out of that extra couple percentage points, right, a percentage of those people are going to go ahead and book an appointment at the end of the video blog series, right? So you can sell those right away. And then all the rest that don't, now you just have them on a company email list, and you just put them on a drip campaign forever until they're ready, right? Because they obviously had some interest in the project because they want to see what's going on, right? They responded to it. So
Right. No, absolutely. I mean, that's maybe not a warm lead, but like a lukewarm lead. You know what I'm saying? Like that's pretty solid, So I dig that a lot. I never even knew that.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, my whole philosophy is whoever controls the eyes of the market dominates the market. So if I have, 20,000 people on an email list, and they're hearing from me all the time, and I'm sending them the right stuff, and they trust me, and I'm sending them like cool, entertaining stuff, not just offers all the time, and like, a little HGTV style, like that kind of feel of stuff. If I'm doing that, I'm going to get business from that 20,000 person list, right? As opposed to a contractor that has no one on an email list, and he's just some random guy that they know nothing about, right?
Have you ever bought an email list before?
I have, but I don't think I ever did anything with it.
Okay. Yeah, because I can buy like 100,000 Google addresses within like an hour of me for like $2,000. And because I have my existing customers, email, but I don't really have any, like, I don't know. I want to do the email marketing. I don't know how to get the emails. The only thing I can think of doing is buy them.
Right. Yeah, pretty much all my emails I just got from doing just running ads like that, where I have some kind of little offer on it somewhere to collect the email address from people that aren't necessarily ready to do the work right now. That's pretty much how I built up my list. I did buy an email list now that I think about it, but I bought a list of home builders, like custom home builders that I was trying to get work from. And then we got work, and we got like ripped off by one of them. So we were just done with that.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah. As long as the email addresses are good, and like if it's a good list, it'll work. I would send probably a very specific email first to it, since they've never heard of you, which it's something we could, probably too much to go over on this podcast. We could talk about that, maybe off air another time, but I would probably send out a specific email to it to kind of warm it up. And what's going to happen is you're going to see a huge portion of people that are going to unsubscribe, but that's good because now you're only left with people that are okay hearing from you, right? So that's what you have to expect when you buy a cold list.
I gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. So,
cool, man. I appreciate it. I definitely, I love this advice here. The not ready yet, text the number. I think that's kick ass because that not everybody, is going to be ready to buy as soon as they receive that card.
Right.
And
Right.
especially the holiday season. It might not be something they want to do right now, but I don't know if you've ever looked at our Facebook page, but I do some of those little like vlog things here and there.
Mhm.
So that's something I'm comfortable with. We have a YouTube channel too. I think we have like 8 subscribers. Something
Right.
stupid.
More than
But
me.
so we try to do a little bit of everything. But yeah, that's kick ass. Yeah, you got to get Google Guaranteed. I'm telling you, it's gonna change your life.
Yeah, I'm gonna check that out for sure, man. I got to get on that. So I think that's it, man. I think we've probably been going for about an hour, huh?
Yeah, something like that. I appreciate it, man.
Yeah, no problem. So I guess we'll just we'll end it here. Um, I guess I'm supposed to tell everyone to subscribe, right? That's kind of what you're supposed to say at the end of these things. So subscribe to the channel. I think you got to hit the little bell thing to put it. I thought it's like notifications or something like that, and that way you get notified anytime another video drops. So, but it's really for my ego. So I want to see a lot of subscribers because it just makes me feel cool, I guess. So just subscribe to the channel, and then I'm going to keep dropping these things every week. We'll have different guests on. Joshua, I'm sure we'll talk again, man. It was a good conversation. Um, and I think that's it, man. Appreciate you getting on the call.
Yes, sir. You have a good night. Appreciate you.
Yeah, you too, man. See you later. Bye bye.